Hey, it's Topher again. Just wanted to do another update of my little garden. It's been a little over a week since my first video, and a lot has changed. So, just wanted to show you how all the plants are doing. Well, first we'll start with the corn and beans over here in this little patch, just like we did last time. And for the corn that is still around, it's looking great. A lot of good, strong growth. The problem is there are only 3 left. Something, I don't know, a cat maybe, has been going through this patch and knocking them down. You can see this one here got torn up at some point, and all of the other ones did as well, except for these 3. So, you know, I think 3 might still be enough to get enough pollination, but we'll probably have some weak corn cobs here, missing a few kernels. I don't know. The beans are doing pretty good though. With just a few exceptions, I think they're growing about as fast as I'd expect, even though they are being eaten by stuff. But you know what they say, if nothing's eating your plants, then they're not part of an ecosystem. So I really can't complain too much. The sorghum is actually grown quite well. They kind of look like corn, which I suppose is to be expected. They seem to be undisturbed by whatever got the corn, so I do expect these to keep going. They're going to actually end up getting taller than the corn, so that'll be exciting to see. That sunflower that I had has grown quite a lot. You can see it's curving to face the sun as they do, which is fun to see. And I did end up planting a few more sunflowers. So those 2 of them germinated at least. So we have some little sprouts here. They're going pretty good. We'll see. The big news in this plot is actually the amaranth. Wow. I have thinned it a little bit. I even transplanted some of them over here, and I transplanted some to another box. I'm gonna have to thin it a little more, I think. It's just growing very vigorously. Look at the color of those stems. That's beautiful. I've never actually grown amaranth before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it's pretty amazing. Let's see, moving over to this one. The corn over here has grown a lot better because none of them have gotten knocked down, just because it has this fence around it. So I guess there's the lesson there. Maybe this fence is something I should install around all the beds. Yeah, everything's growing pretty good here. The broccoli is getting eaten by the cabbage loopers pretty extensively, but honestly, the broccoli was sort of just a surprise. I didn't even intend to grow it this year, so I don't really care, and that's fine. But yeah, everything's going pretty good, even with the broccoli's big leaves providing some shade. The corn is already taller than the broccoli, so it doesn't really matter for them. This potato is growing so tall. It's actually coming up over the trellis I laid on top here. I'm gonna have to trim these flowers. It's always good to trim the flowers of your potatoes because you don't need them growing fruit. The fruit's not edible anyway, and the seeds are useless because it doesn't grow to a seed. So you don't want to put energy into that fruit. You want to trim those so it puts it all into the tubers. And here's those mung beans. You know, I actually planted some carrots in between the rows here just a few days ago. I sowed those seeds. I don't think any have germinated yet. I don't expect them to have germinated, but maybe in a few days we'll see some little carrot sprouts coming up. I'm not really sure how well that's going to play out. These beans are going to get pretty big pretty fast, and you might end up shading them out, but I don't know. I was thinking about the fact that I didn't grow carrots this year because I had that big carrot that I was letting go to seed, and it made me think about wanting to grow some carrots. So they say you can plant them, you can sow the seeds all the way through midsummer, so we'll see. There's a lot of grass that actually grows up in this bin because this is actually growing. I used to have grass underneath here and I didn't put down a barrier, so I get a lot of this grass just like coming up, so I end up having to pull it out constantly. Some dandelions, of course, too. So yeah, that's a constant task in this particular bin, is just pulling out grass seeds. I have the problem in other bins, but for some reason this one is the most grassy of all. Oh well. Eventually they'll all come out. I'll have no more grass. Turns into fertilizer. And here we have the loofahs. They're doing pretty good. I think they're maybe doubled in size in the last week, so I think they are definitely growing faster now that it's getting hotter, which is what I was sort of expecting and hoping. With the exception of this one, it's kind of the runt of the litter, very small still. What's interesting is this one is actually getting these little tendrils, just like a bean or something does. So, because these actually are climbing, so you can see they have these tendrils that are looking for something to grab onto. Unfortunately, the ones that I planted closest to the poles do not have tendrils yet, but eventually I'm hoping I can guide this one over to one side or the other. Now this squash is huge. See how big that is? There's two of them here, but it's already got some flowers with some little baby squashes growing. These are yellow squash, so there's a few of them in there, and these get huge if you let them, so it'll be fun. And that melon over here is still growing. Don't know what it's gonna be, but we'll see. And speaking of that carrot that I let go to bloom, here it is. It's got lots of flowers on it, so we're gonna get tons of carrot seeds. At least I think this is a carrot. I don't know. I will let you know. And I've got the onions over here. You know, I trimmed the buds off of these before they bloomed, but I missed one, so I actually do have one. I think this is a green onion, and it does have a flower on it, but they're just so pretty. I love the onion blossoms. The rest of them doing pretty good here, so I should be ready to harvest soon. Actually, I might pull one up just to see how it's going. And the beets doing pretty good. They're growing even though they're in the shade of their older brothers here, which are putting out just tons of seeds. Yeah, look at that. They're even growing, like, new leaves are coming up from in between the blossoms. That's wild. Look at that. Very cool. And this box, I've got that melon. It's like a honeydew. I think it's grown a little bit, not a ton though. This one was a late transplant, so it was pretty root locked when I planted it. I tried my best to break that up, but it might have a little trouble thriving right away. These peppers are doing good. They love the hot weather. Oh, and actually, this one here, I didn't mention this before, but I had some ghost peppers that I was growing in this bin, and I had like 6 plants, and all of them got eaten down to little nubs by something, slugs or something. Oh, there's another one here. You see, it got eaten down to nubs, but look, it is still growing. It's putting out new leaves. So I actually might have 1 or 2 ghost pepper plants still going in here, which is great. The celery is not doing too well, but that's to be expected. These are just grocery store celeries that I just stuck in the ground. This one actually looks like it might take off. This one, probably not. But for just being random grocery store stalks that I stuck in the ground, not too shabby. A potato, of course. And these are those sunchokes. Oh, they've really taken off. You can see, I mean, they've more than doubled in size. They're really looking like sunflowers now. I got this one, it's got 2 stalks. This one has 1, and this one has 2. Still a little smaller. I don't know why that one's so much smaller, but I expect it to catch up. And the beans growing over here too. The soil in here is really poor. I didn't really mix in a lot of compost or anything. This is like pretty crappy soil. So, you know, if anything can grow in this, that's a kind of a bonus. The sunchokes are supposed to be pretty hardy and pretty prolific, so that's why I put them here. It's just, I figured if anything's gonna grow here, it'll be them. And obviously beans and potatoes kind of grow everywhere. So, yeah. One bed that I didn't show last time was this corn I have. It was kind of off in a different part of the yard that doesn't get as much light. You know, I wasn't expecting too much of this. It was kind of just an experiment, but they're growing okay. I mean, they're definitely not as thick and robust as the corn that's growing with more sun, but I mean, they're growing. And I did put this wire mesh on here, which seems to have protected them from squirrels or whatever was getting them before. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, we'll at least get some corn stalks. The blackberries are doing good. Got a big blackberry bush above them. They've been blooming for a while. The bees love these flowers, and we're actually starting to get a few berries forming. You know, those first flowers that come out that are always on the tip of the stem, they always turn into berries first, so we're getting those now. So we'll have lots of berries. The apple tree is just absolutely loaded with apples. You can see it's sort of, the stem, this branch is all the way almost touching the ground, just because it has so many apples on it, just weighing it down. So that's exciting. I'm gonna have to put something on these to protect them. Last year, most of these apples ended up getting eaten. You can see this one. See, somebody's already been eating this. I don't know, probably the squirrels. I've seen the squirrels take the apples, but it may not be only squirrels. Could be lots of things. Oh, look at all these berries. Yeah, we're gonna have tons of berries this year. Oh, and I need to make a correction. In my last video, I said, oh look, there's a little bird. There's a little bird. It's watching this. Anyway, I have to make a correction because in the last video, I said that these olives were little baby olives, but they're not. They were just the flower buds that hadn't bloomed yet. So now the olive tree is actually in bloom. So you can see all these little tiny blossoms. So then those are going to turn into olives. So I was a little bit ahead of myself there. Here we have more apples. This apple tree is a little smaller, but the apples get bigger. So this one always produces a lot, but again, they mostly get eaten by the squirrels because this one is in a very accessible place right by the fence. So the squirrels just hop right over and get up in here, and they love eating these apples before they're even ripe. They take 2 bites and they just spit them out because they're not ripe and they're gross. And then they come back a minute later and grab another one because they forgot how gross it was. And it's really annoying because, you know, I wouldn't mind so much if they were at least like eating the apples and enjoying them, but they just waste them. So I gotta do something about that. It was kind of fun. These are actually baby grapes, so unlike the baby olives, these are grapes. Doesn't look like a lot of them got fertilized. Like, they don't really seem to be growing a ton of grapes, but I mean, they're growing. Some parts better than others. The grapevine is a little unwieldy. It's actually growing up into the olive tree, so that's not great. I'm gonna have to trim that back, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see about these grapes. Some years I get grapes, some years they all get eaten. I don't know. Maybe I can do something to protect them too, but honestly, these grapes aren't very good, so if the squirrels want to eat them, if the birds want to eat them, that's fine. But I will probably take the grape leaves and make something with that. They're edible. You can make all sorts of stuff with the grape leaves, so stay tuned for that, I guess. So yeah, that was the update of the garden and a little tour number 2. This is June 11th, 2025. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates. Bye.